What's going on, everyone? I'm here with Rich Baldwin, painting contractor out of Canada. He's here for a business breakthrough. You know this as a podcast listener. I'm going to start off with tell me what's going really well. Tell me an area that you wish would be going a little bit better.
Well, we do really well with kitchen cabinets and stuff. So I have a
Okay.
pretty good deal with a guy that owns the shop. He's a Finnish carpenter, and
Okay.
he owns the shop, and he put a spray booth in. And
Nice.
that's just yeah. So it's going really well. Like he's brought in a lot of work. I do a lot of finishing for him,
That's
and then
great.
we have our own customers. For me, it's scheduling and finding more. I'm trying to find employees, but it's that's hard for me too. But I keep grinding and keep trying, but it's tough for me.
That's a big issue for a lot of people, man. And it's like, I think it's the expectations. I think even if you were just a normal painting contractor, it would be quote unquote hard. You being a refinishing contractor, times it by 10, right? I
Yeah,
mean, because
yeah.
the level of detail, care, concern, just
Yeah,
skyrockets. So let me ask you this: is it just you doing the work by yourself?
yeah. So it,
Yeah.
it gets really tough because I feel like I've got so many different hats. Like it's like, I'm an estimator, I do the invoicing.
Estimator, billing,
Yeah,
invoicing, orders, customer service. It's a tough
yeah,
life,
doing
man.
the work. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So have you ever owned a business before?
Yeah, so I did. I had another painting business, and honestly, it went belly up. Like it went really bad. And I ended up doing a what's called a proposal.
Why did it go belly up?
I just got it got cash flow was always an issue. I did commercial with it, and I think that that's where I kind of
You have
faulted
to
there
wait a long
because
time for the payments.
yeah, yeah, and it
And
was just hard.
did you have employees in this business?
Uh, we use subs.
Okay.
We used subs, and it was constantly like chasing them to get the work
So
finished,
you're
or they were
burned.
chasing me.
So you already have wounds from subcontractors, so you won't go that route again, right?
No, I definitely don't want to do that again.
Especially in
No.
refinishing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure.
So have you ever managed before that, or was that your first business in
That was
house?
my first business.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So,
so what I'm looking at is just an individual who just doesn't have the experience hiring people. That's really what it comes down to, right? Was that fair?
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Well,
for sure.
yeah, yeah. So, typically I would kind of come at you in a way that is more so like, all right, well, you got to get systems in place. And it's like, I want to kind of just ask you, I mean, when you look at hiring, as a whole, what are some of the fears or worries you have, and what are some of the uncertainties? So maybe I can give you a more tailored
Um,
approach.
I guess finding the right people.
Oh, right there. That's it. I don't need to go further. Doesn't exist. It
Yeah.
doesn't exist. It's not going to happen. Finding the right people is setting expectations way too high. I think off the bat going into that, you're already going into it with a big barrier up. In other words, like it's almost like you're a wounded individual in terms of like a romantic relationship, and you're not giving anyone a chance. Because
Hmm.
the thing is, I've noticed this from just my own experience naturally. I didn't find the right people. I created the right people. Um, and that's much easier. It's much easier. I mean, there's a certain threshold, right? You got to have someone that's respectful, that you could tell is hardworking and diligent. But man, you have to look at your business like it's a garden, and it's a place for people to grow into their best self. Here's an example. If somebody is leaving a place of business and maybe they aren't happy where they work, or maybe it's a place that doesn't bring out their full potential and they're kind of just neutralized there, you have to understand that they're coming to you at a low state, right? A low frequency, because that's what they're used to. And I think the goal of your business is to create a place where you can take raw potential character and allow that character to grow, man. And I think, like, if you expect people to do what you do, that's going to be a fail too. And that's, you got to be careful because you're a one man army, man. So like for you, the idea of bringing someone on is that they're going to slow you down. And if they do that, Obviously that won't work out. So the default is to say, well, I need someone with the same level of skill because I need them to replace me. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So both of those are going to land you in a pile of where you are now. And that's what's happening. So you're in this paralysis state, it seems like. How long have you been doing this?
Well, painting and finishing my
No, I
whole
want to
life.
know this refinishing business that you started.
2 years, 2 years.
So you've been on your own mostly for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So hiring is is your ticket to freedom. But if it were that easy, then it wouldn't really be a ticket to freedom. So when it
yeah.
comes to hiring, man, like tell me, aside from them being the right person, what skill sets are you looking for?
I guess somebody that can just listen, really, right? Because I mean, I'm gonna have to. I'm realizing now that hiring the guys that know it all isn't the right route. I think I'm gonna have to bring somebody in that doesn't even know the right side of a paintbrush to hold, and I think I'm gonna have to kind of shape them
Yeah.
into something that would work for me and
You
for
know what
them too, right?
you know what that would do for you is it would hold you to a standard that you're not being held to right now. And that's normal. You can get away with things now that you won't be able to get away with when you have someone looking at you in a way that they're going to mimic what you do, right? It's like a kid,
Right.
which is a good thing. That's a hedge against ourselves in a way. Second thing is imagine how much workload will be taken off your shoulders, even if you just have someone sanding, right? Like even if you just have someone prepping. Hey man, you know what? Finish prepping this. I gotta run to do an estimate. I'll catch up with you in a couple hours. Check on you, right?
Mhm.
Dude, that is business right there. You're not experiencing it, and you haven't ever really experienced it. If you didn't have any employees at your last business and you went belly up, and then this business, you got to be careful because some of the same habits that are your defaults may creep into this business. And maybe you're even thinking, will this business go belly up too? You know,
Yeah, it's
have,
a
has that
fear
been
for
has
sure.
that been a fear? Yeah,
Oh
because that
yeah.
that happened to you. So it's not like it's like, this far out idea, right?
Right.
So radical change in your mindset is the key. Radical change. Not only radical change, I believe that it's massive action. Like I'm talking uncomfortable action. Let me ask you this. What is your goal in business? I mean, when you started this business, what was your ambition?
Um, to be kind of self-sufficient and have it run itself.
Okay.
And to
Go deeper.
have some more freedom, I think.
For what?
Um, and to be able to do stuff that I love to do, like travel and go to Mexico. I've got lots of friends that live in Mexico. I've learned the language, and I kind of want to be able to let it run itself while I can go
Sure.
and do that. And I love golfing and doing all that stuff too, and independent stuff.
What
And
else?
I just want to have. I want to make some more money. I do. I want to be able to afford a house for us, and and for my kid,
Uh,
and so we can kind
I
of get
I
that
heard it.
way.
I heard it. I was waiting for it. Everything you said up until my kid was all about you. And the thing
Yeah,
is that you need to rearrange your ambitions. Although I know deep down inside, most of it's about your child. But you have to understand that this is an uncomfortable stage for you, Rich. I mean, going into this hiring thing, it's going to require you to stop what you're doing, even though you're already as busy as you've ever been in your life. And you have to go out on a limb and try to find help, which in itself is risky. First of all, understand that this is a risky move, regardless of if you don't do it or you do it. If you don't do it, you're risking failure. If you do it, you're risking a bad employee that just tarnishes your reputation, right? Isn't that the worst, absolute worst scenario? Everything you set up into that point, I want to go travel, I want to do this, I want to create this, I want to create this, that is not strong enough to pull you to do uncomfortable things in business. It's not. You need to rearrange your ambitions, because when we rearrange our ambitions, that's like a flight being rearranged at the start of the flight, right? We have to understand our trajectory. You got to understand where you're going in order to be pulled there, because everything up until this point you've done for your own self and your own comfort zone, and it's gotten you to this point. Now understand this, brother. You got to get uncomfortable. And when I say that, I just mean that the best thing I've done is I've looked at things outside of my own personal goals and ambitions and utilized those things to push me, because you're comfortable right now. You'd be happy right now if this is all you did for the rest of your life. And you and I both
Hmm.
know that. You make good money, you're on your own time. That's the norm. But then again, you sit down sometimes, you're like, man, I'm overloaded. I can't handle this. Right. So it's like ambitions need to be the first thing, man. Your why, right? But the why has to be more than just your own. Again, even though it's your kid and getting a better life for your child, that was enough to help you start a business, right?
Hmm.
That's what pushed you to do this again, right?
Yeah, for
How are
sure.
you going to create a better business even though right now you've already achieved your goal? You have a decent life right now. It's what is your motivation for the people that come into your business? You've got to make that a factor in your life. You've got to think, man, how am I going to make this business a place where I can bring someone in here and it's going to change their life like it changed mine? Because that's going to force you, Rich. I'll be honest with you, man. You might think this is hoopla, but this is
No,
really
no, yeah,
how it's done. If this is hitting you, I'm being honest. You've got
yeah.
to look at your business and say, first of all, ideally, if I brought someone in, what do I want to do? Do I want them to come in and not have any ambition or motivation of what their future endeavors are? Do I just want them to be an asset to where they just produce a result, or do I want to help them grow? Because you are in a good position as a human. You own a business, you understand sales and marketing, you have a gift. And the thing is, there's a lot of people out there that don't have that ambition, that luxury. Maybe they're scraping every month. Maybe they hate where they work and they need an opportunity. And it's like you have to have that much awareness as a business owner to understand that everything in your business needs to be butter tight, prepared for someone to come in and be safe there and grow. Because what's going to happen is magical. It's actually kind of weird, is that when people feel as though that they can grow in your business and they have a safe place to be themselves and exercise their creativity, they grow your business for you. So ultimately what happens is that all those ambitions that you outlined for me in the beginning of when I asked you this, those will automatically happen if you allow your business to be a place that benefits others, the people that come in. This is just building the foundation of when you hire, now you know what you're looking for rather than I just want the right fit. Right fit doesn't exist. Don't ever look for the right fit. Don't ever look for a replacement. You need to look for individuals that want to grow and want to learn what you mastered. And then you need to teach it in bite sized chunks, and you need to manage it in bite-sized chunks until somebody learns the system as well as you do, which may take 6 to 9 months to the point where they can produce one job without you. This is a long-term game. You know, you got to be prepared for that. So it's not as
Cool.
tangible as it may seem, hiring, because if it was, then it'd be, hey, go put out ads and go hire. That doesn't
Mhm.
exist. But there is a system involved. Let's talk about it. In terms of hiring, let's talk about first, do you want employees?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
you want
definitely don't want
employees.
to go the sub route again.
Have you allocated a certain amount of money per hour that you're willing to pay this next role?
Uh, I'm thinking around 17 bucks an hour for a start off.
Okay, $17 an hour to start. And in terms of this person's role, let's say, for example, you have them come in and learn, is it cabinet refinishing? Is that what you
Yeah,
focus on?
yeah.
Okay, they learn cabinet refinishing. When you refinish cabinets, essentially you're doing it by yourself. So this helper role needs to be strategically outlined from start to finish. And that requires you taking some time, man. Write down what it is that this person's going to be doing.
Hmm.
Imagine if you got hired by a company and you had absolutely no clue what your roles and responsibilities were.
I'd probably
If
leave.
you'd probably leave. So to be honest, that's not looking out for that person's best interest, because our goal as leaders is to provide a roadmap. In other words, essentially the goal is, especially in cabinet refinishing, because there's a certain level of mastery, right? That
Yeah.
once you hit, then you could do a whole kitchen by yourself and then you get that guy a helper. So essentially you're acting in the role of this master refinisher that has mastered all aspects of prepping, sanding, applying, sanding again, applying. Not only that, customer service, all this, you've mastered that. But now you have to create the same system, but with a helper. And the goal is to help that helper understand that one day, if he follows your instruction, he's going to get to the mastery level, whatever that is. And you can create something really special if you hone in on that process. I mean, but again, it starts with outlining what the roles are, outlining
Okay.
what the responsibilities are. You know,
Right.
you can't get someone to apply for something they don't know what the thing is. You can't just put out an ad and say, I'm looking for help for a cabinet refinishing business. You know,
Yeah.
the right employee wants to know what the heck they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you put out
Yeah.
ads before?
Just on Indeed.
And what did those ads say? Can you just give me an example?
I'm just looking for, I think I said looking for a decent human. Doesn't necessarily need to know the trade.
Okay.
Um, Somebody that's hardworking, can get to the job sites, because like obviously we'll do on-site work and
Right.
then bring doors to the shop.
Right. Okay. So
And
we
we
got
all,
to I want you to understand this concept as well, because this is going to help you, Rich. Hiring and marketing are the same thing. When you market, you're trying to get customers to buy from you. When you're hiring, you're trying to get humans to apply to your company. That's it.
mhm,
So when it comes to marketing, if you just put out a dull ad that said, "Hey, we're looking for houses to paint. We're pretty good at it. We like, we like to come with a smile, and we're just really looking for good homeowners to get the job done." You know, so in other words, when we market, it's like, "Hey, homeowners, this is Rich with my painting company. I just want to let you know we're offering this, and this. If you click the message button right now, we'll get you a quote within 24 hours. It's exciting, it's encouraging, it makes people move. You understand? So,
mhm,
there's a lot there when it comes to motivating, on the marketing side. But when it comes to the employee side, it's the same thing, man. Like there's got to be a certain level of enthusiasm conveyed through that channel that gets people to want to apply. Because again, that might require a huge shift in how you are naturally. I'm not saying you need to change who you are, but understand that usually when someone starts a job, it's a pretty exciting endeavor. So we really want to make sure that you're zeroing in on that. Like, think about what it would be like for you. You know, things usually, like, imagine I worked in a corporate job, and one thing I liked about corporate was that, like, dude, everything was laid out for me. It's almost like when you get a corporate job, you're like, all right, at least they got everything under control, right? There's like a process. In other words, like, all right, background check. And then they set me up with the payroll system. I enter in my bank account details. And then they're like, all right, well, your initiation training is, this week, and this is what we're going to cover. It's like a week's worth of, like, things that we're going to do. This is what you can expect after the training. This is what your pay is going to be. After the training, you're in a 2-month incubator period, and you're going to learn this, and this. And then after 3 months, you should be able to do this. And it's like, that is inspiring, man, because it's like, all right, like, these steps are laid out for me. And in the trades, man, you don't get much of that. Essentially, it's like, all
yeah,
right, can you start tomorrow?
mhm,
So what are you really trying to attract? And it might require sitting down and being nerdy about this stuff and just hammering it out and really thinking it through. And then
mhm,
building out the right ad that says, we are an on fire cabinet refinishing company that produces high end work for high end customers. We're looking for an outstanding individual that isn't happy where they're currently working and wants to advance and learn the art of cabinet refinishing. If you have these qualifications, please feel free to apply. We have a 3-step hiring process. Starts off with a phone interview, in-person interview, and then a working interview. If you make it through all 3 stages, you will be offered full-time employment. I mean, just like that, man. Like, just something that encourages people and gets them stirred up, gets them to move.
yeah, it
You know,
sounds fun.
it
Yeah,
is fun. It's marketing.
yeah, yeah,
Marketing's fun. Marketing it's the same thing, man. It's like, get people excited to want to work with you. There's 150 painting companies probably within 10 miles of me. I get 100 applications every time. And I notice the difference. If I don't put any enthusiasm in my ads, hardly any. But if I put enthusiasm in my ads, just like I just told you, they get flooded, man. It's insane
yeah,
how it happens. But it's the same thing with marketing. If you have boring marketing, you're gonna get boring results. People are becoming numb in the way that they scroll, in the way that they see things. It's numb. So you've
right.
got to stand out. Okay.
Makes sense.
Any questions? Anything that you were wanting to hit on that maybe we missed?
Um, no, I think that's great so far. No, it's good. Yeah.
Good. So, there's, there's a lot of different variables here. I just want to make sure that we're, on the same page in terms of just understanding the process. of the hiring and kind of what you're going to do to go into it. I'm happy to give you my hiring course. Um, and that'll kind of give you a framework that you might like.
Okay, cool.
So if you're interested in that, man, I'll send that over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome, Tom.
Awesome. Well, join me back again, man. If you make some progress on the hiring side, I think that's a good place to
No, for
start,
sure.
man. Just go all in on it. Understand that, I think you built something pretty cool. Other people think so too. Just make sure you have something laid out for them for when they get there.
Cool. I
All right.
love your energy. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
man. Get after it. See you, Rich.
Right on. See ya. Bye.